Hi guys, Johnny Good here for the Real Home Studio vlog. Today I'm taking a look at social media versus the successful musician. And just before we dive straight in, I want to remind you guys, please like and subscribe. If you've got something to say, please do drop it in the comments box below. So, good old social media. I'm old enough to remember a time before social media. There was a lot of cassette tapes, there was a lot of CDs, there was a lot of fanzines, print, getting out there on the old 2 feet, meeting promoters, hustling for gigs, a lot of networking, and a lot of time wasted as well as a lot of materials wasted. So these days with social media, I've got to say we're blessed. It's a wonderful time to be a musician. There's indeed never been a better time, I don't think, to be a musician with regards to getting your identity out there. And of course, not only do we have the outlets of various platforms of social media, but we have home studios where we can create the content freely and easily, and we can feel free with our creativity to create a strong brand identity for where we want to go with what creative project we're doing. You know, you can create your music, of course, your videos, your logos, your graphics, your artwork, all can be done from the home studio. What a fantastic time it is to be a musician. But of course, like with everything, there's a yin and a yang, and there are a few negatives with social media, a lot of which are well documented with regards to mental health. But I wanted to highlight 3 key areas today with regards to social media that you want to look out for, 3 pitfalls which you really don't want to end up going down, and give you some suggestions on how to avoid those pitfalls in order to fast track you as a successful musician. Do stick around to the end as well, where I've got my 1 key top tip. If you ignore everything else, make sure you listen to that 1 key top tip to make sure you're on that fast track to being a successful musician. Number 1, find your groove. You know, that's so important in life, to find your rhythm, to find your balance. Not just for being a successful musician, but being a successful person, being the best version of yourself, looking to find that balance and getting into that groove. You hear a lot of business sort of phrases and catchphrases which have come down into our language, things like don't work harder, work smarter, and more pace, less speed, referring to working at a good groove that suits your lifestyle. You know, everybody's different. Some people have more commitments, like myself. Look, I'm 44, I have a wife, a child, a house. I have commitments that maybe someone in their early 20s aren't going to have. So everyone works at a different pace, and everybody works slightly differently in order to move towards their goals. Social media kind of tends to disregard this law a lot more than it does in real life. And when you've got things like clickbait, offering you what seem like almost impossible promises, it can seem like everybody is accelerating past you at a very fast rate, way faster than you feel that you can cope with. And sadly, I've seen it happen firsthand, where people get really despondent, almost to the point of depression, and sadly end up walking away from the music industry because they just feel it's not for them, or it's too much. It hasn't worked at the rate which they've perceived through social media. And I wanted to say that you see clickbait and stuff like that for what it is. If you look in the fitness industry, if you look at fitness videos, you can find YouTube videos with the thumbnail of do this press up for 30 days and you'll look like this. And you have the 2 shots. There'll be one kind of weedy guy on the left. On the other hand, there'll be a guy with like triceps the size of bricks. And it's like, that's not going to happen in 30 days. Your common sense knows that. But the clickbait is very potent. It is very much that. It gets people to click on the video. And this can be the case with music videos as well online. What I would say is find your groove, as I said at the start. Get into a groove that suits you, that's realistic, that you can get your goals from week to week consistently. and not suffer from anything like burnout or feel like you're getting to your low because you don't feel like you're getting towards your goal quick enough. If you're moving towards your goal, then you're doing just that. You're moving towards your goal at a rate that suits you. Try to be inspired rather than feel burnt out when you see other people's stories of success. If it's happened to them, then it will happen to you. Secondly, surrounding yourself with good people. Obviously, that's really important in your real life to avoid dealing with negative people, and they can sneak in from time to time. And, you just have to be very mindful, particularly for us musicians and creatives, tend to be quite a sensitive bunch. So certainly in real life, we want to make sure that we're avoiding the negative people and being drawn towards positive people. People who are showing us the way, people who are living their best life and inspiring people. That's absolutely who you want to be spending your time around, people who smile and don't get too bogged down with the negative side of life. And that's just the same case online. It's difficult online because the negativity can sneak in. Us as humans feel quite curious and sometimes drawn in to gossip and negative news stories, and it can be really easy to get swept up into that online. Particularly, you might find yourself getting onto the computer to specifically do a job, or on your phone or on your tablet, and before long, half an hour or an hour has passed, you've lost your window because you've just been looking at maybe content which isn't actually serving you too well. So try to keep the content that you consume and the people that you follow online positive. So say it can be really good friends sometimes that you may get on with very well, but actually are putting out negative content. That can be a bit of a tricky one to navigate, but try to be really mindful about what you're absorbing from day to day. There's so much information which is being popped at you all the time, so you have to try and be as selective and as careful as possible. And make sure when you do go to work on your computer that you go in and you get that mission, you're quite focused on what you do. There's so much distraction online and not all of it is positive. So try to be focused, get in and get out and get that work done and move forward towards your goals. Thirdly, you don't have to be the best for great success. And this is a really important one with social media, because you can easily go onto YouTube, you can see the world's best guitarist. You won't believe how great this girl sings. You won't believe how unbelievable this band is. These guys are incredible. It's everywhere. And it's very difficult to not be looking over your shoulder, not be comparing yourself, and quite quickly thinking, do you know what? I'm just going to hang this guitar up now because there's so many people that are better than me. Now, back in the day when I was younger, of course, it would be, you'd be maybe comparing yourself to the city you lived in, or the street you lived in, or the school you went to, the people you worked with. And it's quite easy to feel in a smaller circle that you felt like you were, the music guy, you were the guitar guy, and you feel quite competent within, your geography of people. You got to remember, when you're on the net, it's the whole world. It's completely unnatural to compare yourself against the whole world, and we absolutely shouldn't do it. Now, it's always just too tempting to look over the shoulder and look what other people are doing. But when you do, really try to have that mindset of being inspired by how great other people can become, and enjoy what they're doing and live through their passion and get positivity, and avoid feeling despondent when you see somebody with a much higher skill level than you. Another thing to take away is, from all the musicians that I've known, those who have been really successful have rarely been the most talented. You don't need to be the best to be highly successful. And that brings me very nicely on to the final part of this video. One key piece of advice if you want success, to be on the fast track to success as a musician, and also make some headway on social media, get yourself noticed, there's one thing that you need to be doing if you ignore everything else, and that is to be persistent. Being persistent and consistent and getting your content up regularly really is the key to get on that fast track to success, to really start noticing numbers and start to feel success coming towards you. Sporadic uploads, sporadic work rarely yields great results compared to putting content up regularly, whether that's like once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week. With persistence, you'll start to see results, you'll start to increase your self-belief, you'll receive faith back and you'll start to see achievements happening. I guarantee you. Keep it consistent, keep it persistent, and you will see success. Thanks for checking out the Real Home Studio vlog today. If you've got anything to say about social media with regards to working as a creative and a musician, please do drop it in the comments box below. I'd love to hear your stories. I'd love to hear what social media is really working for you guys. Any success stories, drop them down in the comments box below. Most importantly, guys, go have yourselves a great day.